So what have you been invading your money into?
I've been laying my money into all kinds of camera stuff. I think I mentioned it on the last time I was on here, but I bought that big Fuji camera, and then I've been trying to outfit it with some lenses. And I got one kind of small basic lens, but now another one just came in. I'm waiting for them to get off of pre-order on the places that I ordered them. So as they sort of like you, like as I notice, they send me a payment notification that I know that my lens is going to be coming. But I just got kind of a nice zoom lens for it, which will help me do kind of closer up portraits, which I've been into recently, and also just to have a general zoom like telephoto lens. I took a shot of the moon today and I posted it on Twitter. It was kind of fun. It's like being able to take a pretty far away shot and having such a massive sensor, you can just crop all the way in and grab detail of the moon. So I don't know. I definitely need to find more things to do with the camera because the camera is sort of incredible and I haven't really done anything incredible with it. But I did take some pretty cool landscapes. I don't know how far into that I got to last time I was talking to you guys, but I've been taking my light out and like using the flash with some color gels to like add splashes of bright colored light into these dark landscapes, which I think is really cool. So it's been kind of fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw a couple of those. I thought I didn't really understand how the colors are coming out, but I realized how like you're probably putting a light out someplace.
Yeah, I have
it's like colors.
It's basically a little battery pack with a cord to a light head, and I put just the plastic color filter over it, and then I have a wireless sync to the camera. So it's basically the light that I would use for portraits, but I just take it to these places. I want to keep doing that because I think like people respond to them well. A lot of people think that they're, I don't know, basically when I say that I mean like people like them on Instagram, which is something I guess. But so I'll probably have to do more of those until I can get some more portraits done.
Yeah, because I think it's creative. Because usually when you have landscapes, you expect you just have normal lighting, and then you have some little beam of light that you don't expect to see there. You wonder if it's natural or what.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me too, it's like I respect landscape photography, especially if it's done really well, because really, really good landscape photography is, takes skill to do it really well. But for me, I kind of feel like a lot of the pictures that I see have kind of been taken before. So if I can do something slightly different, then I'm more interested in it. Otherwise, it's kind of, it might just be another picture of a tree or another picture of the beach or whatever. But if I can make it a little darker and more mysterious, then maybe I'll be more into that.
What was the zoom times and to get to that moonshot?
Well, to be honest, I'm not like I guess the consumer way of thinking about zoom is that like 1 times, 2 times, 10 times zoom, but that's not really at all how it actually is denominated when you think about like professional cameras. But I guess if I could equate it to something, I guess a standard iPhone shot is like 28 millimeters. So if we call that 1 times, then maybe a 200 millimeter zoom on a big camera is probably like 8 times that or something, and then my sensor I can crop in a lot more. So probably I don't know, a lot. It's like a 200 millimeter lens on my my medium format camera cropped in. So anyway, a lot of technical stuff, but yeah, it's funny. Everybody thinks that it's like in marketing speak, like Apple or whatever other companies, lots of camera companies on their small cameras, they go, this is a 40x zoom lens or it has a 2x zoom lens or whatever, and that's really it's interesting because it's easy for people to digest. It's like easy to understand. Oh, this is 2 times closer, or this is 4 times closer. But it's like when you get past that and you start getting like more expensive cameras, they don't use that because it's not relevant. Because it's like 2 times more than what? There's no standard lens because you can change the lens on all these cameras, right? So is it 2 times? Is it 2 times a long lens or 2 times a small lens? So anyway, that's why all the bigger cameras are usually denoted in their sort of their millimeter length. But I'll try not to go off on that because that's like probably more information than anybody needs. Suffice to say, my camera is not measured in like a 5 times zoom lens. If only it were all so easy.
So Nick, what type of portrait photography have you done lately?
What have I done? I've only done a couple basic things, but it was kind of fun to get back into it. I took some pictures of a coworker of mine, so just some basic portraits, which I thought was kind of interesting because he is very reserved and extremely dry and kind of relatively soft-spoken person, but he's the kind of, sometimes I'm just weird, but I look at people and I look at their faces and I can like, because I've taken photos for such a long time and I've used like studio lighting, I can just tell, I can look at a face and be like, wow, this person would probably look really good, you know, shot a certain way, like with a certain lighting setup, they would look totally different. And so I took some photos and like, to most people who see them, everybody's like, wow, is that him? And it totally looks different than this guy, because nobody's used to seeing, well, one, everybody always just sees him with a mask on his face during work, but you know, it's just, it's interesting. It's really like how it makes people look different than what you think, than what they're used to looking at. And I saw some pictures of my my boss's daughter, and it's kind of the same thing. We just experimented and did some photos. It was all kind of like outdoor, with my outdoor studio stuff. So all the lights, but we're outside and using a background. And again, it was like, it looks like them, looks like her, but it also looks a lot like, not like, when I say it looks like me, it looks like my style, you know? Like it looks super glamorous and like these people don't usually have pictures of them taken like that. Usually it's maybe a selfie from a camera phone, or with my coworker's case, it might be like a film shot that he got of himself by holding the camera out. Whereas my style is really like kind of this glossy, like super photoshopped, clean, I don't know, portrait style. So it's kind of, I like seeing these pictures of them, because it makes them look so different. Makes anybody look so different when you put them in front of a camera and make it very kind of like these formal portraits. It's, I don't know, you guys would look a lot different too, because nobody'd be used to seeing you lit like that, you know, or seeing you photographed with that angle or retouched that way, or, you know, anything like that. So it's been interesting to me to take these, what I call kind of relatively normal people, the average person, and then make them look, I don't know, different, glamorous, whatever. So basically, I've been doing what for me are basic portraits, but for these people are kind of like more stylized. It's been fun. I want to do more. I finally got that. Like I said, I just got this lens, which will be great for that. So I need to find time for that. I've recently taken on some more time at work, so I'm merely down to 2 days a week where I'm free.
Darn.
So I know I'm not used to that. I'm used to my 3-day weekend, so I'll have a little less time for photography. But I think after the new year, I'll go back to having more time.
So I had another question, Nick. So how has your transition been between your previous camera that you had to this new Fuji camera?
It was pretty easy, because I was, me being me, I've had like a ton of cameras around the whole time. But I used to use the Fuji APS-C crop cameras. I had like the X-T3 and the X-T2 and a bunch of their lenses, which are awesome. The mirrorless Fuji cameras are great. I recommend them to everybody. I've actually personally sold like multiple people to them, like at work. People, I recommend them, and because I love them so much, they're great. And then I wanted something with high, because those max out currently at like 26 megapixels of resolution, which is great for most photography. But I like to do things once in a while where I want more detail. So I bought this a Sony A7R III like a couple years ago. Also a great camera. Tons of people love Sony cameras. They're very trendy, especially with people who like hybrid shooters use them for video and they produce stuff on YouTube. People love Sony cameras. They are great. But you know, I never really fell in love with it that much. Like I've mentioned here before, I didn't like it as much as the Fuji stuff to use, the menus and the controls and just the feel in the hand. It wasn't great. So eventually I was like, well, I can get a great deal through where I work. We get a considerable discount on Fuji equipment. So I was like, well, I'm just going to sell a ton of my stuff. So I sold off like over $7,000 of camera equipment to various places and people. And I've switched this massive Fuji GFX 100. And it's been awesome. Yeah, it's easy because I've used the Fuji cameras before. So using this camera, it's like a much bigger version with a much higher resolution sensor. But using it feels just like the smaller Fujis in a way. So that's been awesome.
Okay, nice.
Consolidation of all your cameras.
Honestly, I mean, because I was looking around and I just, like, they're kind of overflowing. I just have cameras and lenses everywhere. So I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should just pare this down and, like, get a couple really high quality things. I don't know.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Did you have anything else, Alex? Or?
Nope.